Lilo and Stitch 2025, the brand new live action remake that Disney does, where they take one of their animated films and make a live action version of it. And as I said when Snow White came out, these live action remakes are these damn you do, damn you don't situations where like you have two camps. Camp One wants it so close to the original. They want a shot for shot remake, and if you change it, they'll be like, "It's nothing like the original." They change it, they bastardize it. Meanwhile, you got this other camp on the right saying, "Look, there's the if you're gonna redo it, be different. You know, we don't do a shot for shot remake. I got the original. If I want that version of it, just making it live action, there's not going to be enough for me to justify this thing being a thing." And there's also the other camps of like, these cash grabs, even though every movie is a cash grab because the goal of a movie for a studio is to make money. And then you have also the camp of, well, it doesn't need to be made, but then the argument is no movie was needed to be made in the first place. So there's all these things with these live action remakes, and there's been wins. I mean, it's to say nicely, hit or miss. I didn't mind the Beauty and the Beast remake. I know it's a bit polarizing, but Cinderella was a win. You had Aladdin, which was a win. You had Jungle Book, which was a win. There's all these wins, in these like live action remake counts, and they are kind of hit or miss. Like the Milan one, for me that was sorry, let me tell you, like that was the most, the one I went, what the hell is this? But these live action remakes are hit and miss. So when it comes to Lilo and Stitch, like this is kind of known to be like my favorite Disney film because every time I don't watch it much, mainly because after I see the original film, I always go and say I'm a glass case of emotion, like I'm basically like a big cartoon, crying, like I'm afraid that I would be crying so much that the entire room would just flood. Like that's how much I really enjoy and how much an emotional hook the original film has. So I was kind of curious how they were going to do this film, how they were going to do a live action Lilo and Stitch. And I came back from it and I was like, you know what? It's cute. It's cute. It is innocent. It is a film that you can tell is going to be well received towards families, towards kids. I'm a little bit peeved that I don't get live action Captain Bungu. I want my giant big whale alien. Thank you very much, but you just made this guy the main bad guy. Okay, fine. Ugh. And the plot follows. Stitch. Subject 626 is up for imprisonment and extermination, but he escapes and he crashes to Earth in Hawaii and pretends he's a dog towards this little girl named Lilo, and at the beginning he is all about his programming. His programming is to destroy, to wreck shop, to just destroy everything in his path. But then he slowly learns about Hawana, about how he learns about family. He learns the ugly duckling side of things, and then he finds a new home. Meanwhile, you have his creator and two aliens hunting him down. Now the difference with this movie is there's also humans trying to find Stitch. You got Agent Bubbles, who in the original film was seen, who was undercover as part of Child Protective Services. And this, they just went, he's a spy, he's working for the CIA, he's hunting down aliens, he knows aliens exist. So you have that kind of thing going on as well. But what you realize with this movie, as much as it is, you know, clearly drawn more towards a younger audience, that and they want to hammer on the Q factor because the relationship between Lilo and Stitch is cute. The relationship, Stitch himself is cute. Um, and what they want, but why is this a relationship between Lilo and Stitch? And you buy it. You buy, you know, Lilo being this reckless, people, kind of reckless, but kind of this, in this weird situation where she believes no one understands me. I'm weird, I'm different, people don't see my points of views. And then Six comes along and it feels like there's a certain connection, like, hey, you understand me. Even though I think you're a weird looking dog, and then soon you'll turn into an alien. I'll find out you're an alien. Um, there's a sense of it. And it's one of those, like, it's just innocent. It's just an innocent film. With people saying, does this need to exist? Once again, no movie ever needed to be a thing. So that argument is thrown out the window. But yeah, for all the live action remakes, it's probably is one of the best ones. It is probably one of the best live action remakes. It's just it's not, sure, I might have got a bit emotional watching the movie, but I was probably the only, like, I was in a screening of Georgie, them National Kids. They were laughing at the jokes. They were, they were wary. They, really got into the film. So clearly, when it comes to younger kids, we enjoyed this one a lot. And it's innocent. Like, if for whatever reason live action, scary forces, or realistic lions, or uncanny valley genie might be a little bit too much for them. This is the way to go. Because also there's not really much stuff coming out for kids, for just a family audience. So there's the quadruple ones that are meant to appeal to 80, but there's also films out there that there's not much that's for that younger audience, which, and sure, like next month, Pixar has the next, Disney has the next Pixar film, Lilo. No, like me, Elo, yeah. Um, but which oddly enough feels like kind of like a diverse Lilo and Stitch about a child going to a planet. It sure does that, but there's not very much. There's not many stuff for families, and if you're that type of parent who's a little bit who is a little bit more careful what the child watch, this is innocent. This is just a neat time. Maybe a little bit of dark. There's not much adult humor. There's not much. It's just a girl and his dog movie. It's just the dog is it's E.T. It's a lighter, maybe less 80s version of E.T. That's what it is. It's a Disney E.T. film, and all that. So if you see the film, comment below and let me know your thoughts.